friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark and sell them for a profit. Today I have 10 items that sold over the last 7 days on Poshmark. I was on vacation, and so I'm only shipping my Poshmark sales from when I got back. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end if you're curious, but I wanted to do things a little differently today and kind of share how I think it's going since Poshmark changed their fees. So I'm going to share the first sale. My gross sales were $200, I've got a lot of numbers written down, $220 on Poshmark in the last 7 days. So this is a coat. It looks like a suit coat, but it's like wool, like an outdoor coat. So I'm not really sure. It's also long. The brand is, I'm trying to find it to show you, Uniqlo, which is not something I've ever sold before, but I found this in my new favorite thrift store and found a sold comp. There were not many listed or sold that were similar to this, but found one that had sold for about $50, so that's what I listed it for. And on Poshmark, I send out 20% off offers through Prime Lister, which is how I also share my closet on Poshmark. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It was a $40 sale. And so $40. I am going to be putting this, sorry, I want to try and tell you everything, in a number 7 box. This is the biggest priority box that I'm aware of. I don't know, maybe there's bigger ones, but I'm going to put that in there. It's a little bit too big for this, or the coat's a little bit too small for the box, but I also don't have any other boxes that the coat would be too big for other boxes, if that makes sense. Okay, so based on $40, I made $35.13 without subtracting the fees. So I had, based on this new pay fee structure, it was $2 plus 5.99% of the item. So, and it's not the item, it's the item plus the shipping plus the tax, which is really interesting because there's quite a few things that I sold for the same amount of money, but the fees are different. And I was like, what is that about? And it's because, I'm pretty sure, because of the tax. So this one, in the old fee structure, I would have made $32 minus my cost of goods. In this one, I made $35.13. So that is a $3.13 difference in my favor. I paid a total fees of $4.87. So that's $2 and then 20%, I'm sorry, it's 5.99% of the fees. I'm already not saying this right. Of the item, the shipping, which is $7.97, the fees, the person, or the taxes, golly. So the person that bought this, however, not only had to pay $40 plus the $7.97 shipping and the taxes, they also had to pay that same fee. So $4.87 on top of that. So that makes it a total of $52.87. Plus their tax. I don't know what their taxes would be because I don't know what the taxes are. This is going to New Hampshire. My guess is New Hampshire taxes are high. I'm not really sure. I'm going to finish boxing that up a little bit in a minute. I'm going to go through all of my items, tell you the fees. Hopefully I won't be as blotchy as that. But then at the end, I have an interesting story about something that I almost bought. And then kind of cumulative thoughts, and I did some comparisons of the last 9 days versus the 9 days prior. And then I'll talk a little bit about why I was gone and what I did while I was gone. Anyway, this is a little shirt by Topshop. It is just like a t-shirt. It has a little scalloped edge. Topshop, I don't know. It was one of those I had heard about it and was like, sure, that sounds fun. And it just doesn't sell. I've had this for 18 months, which is way too long. Yeah, it sold for $16 on Poshmark. So my fees on that were $3.53. So this is interesting to me. In this current fee structure, I made $12.47. In the old fee structure, I would have made $12.80. So I'm actually at a loss of excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm actually at a loss of 33 cents on this item. I mean, I'm not at a loss. I'm saying I would have made 33 cents more on this item in the old pay structure. And that seems to be the case of the items that I'm selling at $16, which is a really common price point for me because I will only list, I may change this now that the fee structures have changed, but prior I would only list things at $20 and not any higher than that because I always wanted to send out offers or accept offers. And prior to this, the fee structure was that under $15, it was a flat rate of $2.95, a flat rate fee. So I commonly sell things for either $14, which would be 30% off of that $20, or $16, which is 20% off of that $20. I commonly sell things for $16, and at that price point, I actually am paying more in fees now. That does seem to be the only price point that worked out that way. I'm not really sure. All right, so the fees were $3.53 versus $3.20, which they would have been at 20%. So this took 18 months to sell. I bought it for 88 cents at my old favorite thrift store, and my profit is $11.59 for that one shirt. This was actually bought by a viewer, and I know that because I sent a message out to people who bought things kind of early on in the week and just said, I'm not going to be back until Friday. I'll be shipping things on Friday. Is that okay? This person was very nice and said lovely things and mentioned that they, were watching. And this was also a 40% off offer. So while I was on my trip, I was celebrating my anniversary with my husband. And this is a J. Crew Mercantile sweater dress. And it's new with tags. There you go. It's really cute. I love this bow. Bows apparently are like a thing this season. I don't know. That's what I heard somewhere. Somebody said. I believe them. Anyway, I have a coupon code on eBay, which is Closet Find 40. So COLSETFIND 40. And that will get you 40% off on eBay. And that's good through tonight. Like 8 p.m. or like midnight, I think. And then I did say that you could send me an offer for 40% off on Poshmark also. And so this was a 40% off offer that was sent to me. So I thought it might have been a viewer. It was a pretty good guess. And then when I sent the message, it turned out that was the case. I think there's only other one viewer sale, and I'm not even positive about that one. There might be others, but anyway, thank you. It's very, very kind and sweet. This did sell for $24 at this current fee structure. I made $19.94. I would have made $19.20 at the 20% off fee structure. So I made 74 cents more on this one. I did pay $3 for this dress from some friends of mine. and that made my profit $16.94. So thankful. Thank you so much. And let's see. I feel awkward, honestly, about it, but I am very, very grateful. Okay. This is a Carhartt just jean shirt. I paid too much for it, but I thought it had better comps than it did. And because it's a 3XL, I thought it would sell better, but it didn't do bad. It sold for $20 on Poshmark. I keep saying Poshmark. They all sold on Poshmark. My profit on this was $16.16. It would have been just $16 in the old structure, so a difference of 16 cents in my favor. And again, this person then would have had to pay that the fees were $3.84 in addition to the $20 for the item, the $7.97 for the shipping, plus their taxes, whatever that is. So I don't, as I was getting all these labels around and looking up all this information and making sure I had it all right, I just kept thinking, like, and I'll talk about it at the end. There's one number that I think is really, really telling for me anyway. Yeah, maybe it's better for the sellers, but I don't think it's better for the buyers. And I think that the buyers, I think that's going to reflect with the sellers. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I told you the fees on this. I spent $5.50 on it, which was too much. 2 months ago, my profit is $10.66. I think when I looked it up, and because of how much I spent on it and the store that I bought it from, they have like a boutique section, and I am very, I do not hold myself too much as far as like looking up comps. I give myself a little bit too much leeway with that, if I'm being quite honest. But this particular like boutique section, I am very diligent with looking up comps when I buy from there. So I think I either saw something different, which is possible. I feel like that happens a lot. Or maybe I just made a bad decision. That's possible too. These are a pair of pants. They are the brand Bonobos. And oh my goodness. So part of my trip was we went to the Columbus Zoo yesterday. Just my husband and I, which I don't know, I think kind of sounds funny, but I actually saw quite a few couples just walking along together at the zoo, which was fun. And they have bonobos at the Columbus Zoo. They are similar to chimpanzees, but they're smaller. And there was a baby, and they were so cute. It's by far my favorite primate. It's probably weird that I have a favorite primate, but I do. Anyway, the Bonobos pants sold for $15. In this current fee structure, I made $11.57 because the fees were $3.43. And had it would have been the old structure, I would have made $12. So yeah, I was thinking it was only the $15 or the $16 ones, but the $15 ones are also where I just didn't make as much money as I normally would have. And like I said, I commonly sell things in that price range. I think it seems when I have items listed for either $20 or $25, people will often send $15 offers. So I don't know. I spent $1.18 on these in Milwaukee when I was on a trip with my husband last fall, and they took 14 months to sell. So it wasn't a great choice. But my profit is $10.39. I feel like I'm not sharing all the right details here because I'm sharing different things than what I normally share. So if I missed something, please leave a comment and let me know what I missed and what you're curious about. I will do my best I did not answer comments for a whole week, so I'm super behind, but I will do my best to get to those questions. These are a pair of Johnny O pants. I was very excited when I found these because I had a Johnny O shirt that sold really fast. These sold in 3 months, which isn't bad. And I found them at the bins. So I think sometimes when I am shipping, I think in terms of, would I do this again? And I think I would buy the Johnny O again. I did have them listed for $30. Somebody sent me a 15% off. A $15. Here I go again. Get my brain to work. A $15 offer, and I took it not knowing maybe it was someone who was wanting to take advantage of the 40% and just thought they would ask a little higher or lower with a 50% off, but I was wanting to sell things. I did not put my store on my Poshmark closet on vacation or turn it off, or I don't even know what you're supposed to do on Poshmark. I just messaged the people that I knew. We left Friday morning and I knew I was going to be back in time to ship today. And so I messaged the people that bought from Friday to like Monday and just said, hey, I'm going to be shipping a little later. Is that okay? No one asked to cancel. I gave that as an offer, like offered that. I did put my eBay store on vacation, but I could tell. I was going to say something about that. Oh, I have not been listing at all though. And I do think that that takes some into account. I didn't tell you anything about these. Yeah, again, I lost money. The money that I would have made was less. The money that I made was less than what I would have made in the old fee structure. Again, on this $15 price point, I would have made $12 in the 20% off, 20% fee structure. The current fee structure, it was $2 for $15 item to $50 item. In between, it's $2 plus 5.99%. So $2 plus $1.42 with my fee so $3.42. And again, this makes what the buyer pays just even more expensive. So they're paid $15 for the item, $7.97 for the shipping, and then $3.42 for the fee plus whatever taxes they had to pay. So $2 is my average at the bins where I pay by the pound. These sold in 3 months and my profit is $9.58. This also came from the bins and also took over a year to sell. But this is just like a little cashmere sweater. It's very like, I don't know, perfectly fall little cashmere sweater. It's Joe Fresh. I have no idea what that brand is, but very tiny little sweater. It's super cute and so soft. I love cashmere. Again, this was a $15 sale. So again, I made less money than I would have. It was $3.48 this time. And again, I think that it has to do with the taxes. That has to be the variable there, right? Taxes are based on where you live because it's a state sales tax. That's my understanding anyway. I could be wrong about that. I'm wrong about a lot of things. So it's possible that that is the case. Yeah, so I made $11.52 and then found this at the bins. I average my cost of goods as $2 at the bins for most things, and that makes my profit $9.52. So I do wrap all my items in tissue paper, and I have a little thank you note, or a thank you sticker rather, that I stick on there. And then I like to use these Tyvek mailers. I just think they, I don't know, I like them. I've heard that they're recyclable. I don't know that people actually recycle them or if that's even true. I wonder if it says, yeah, no. Do not recycle. Plastic bag. Just right on there. But it does say howtorecycle.info. So maybe you can recycle it, but just not in like your regular recycle bin. I don't know. Well, shoot. Thought I was being better for the environment with that. $9.52 is my profit. I think I already said that. Anyway, I don't think that these have very good adhesive, so I add these little priority stickers to help them stick better. And that seems to work. This is really cool. It's like a vintage corduroy romper. Really cool. It did not have a size in it, so hopefully the person looked at the measurements. This was a 40% off offer, so I'm thinking that it might be someone who watches the videos. If you do, thank you so much. You want more popcorn? Just put it in the kitchen. Thanks, bud. Emily's like pantomiming to me. So fun. Sold for $20. Which, like I said, it was right around 40% off of what I had it listed for. I've had this for 10 months. I just thought it was really cool. Very obviously vintage. I don't know, it's really neat. My profit, so what I earned minus my fees was $16.20. In the regular fee structure, or the old fee structure rather, I would have earned $16, so 20 cents in my favor on this item for the fees, but the person who bought it had to pay an extra $3.80. So I bought these at the bins, and so that makes my profit $14.20. That's great. All right, more vintage stuff. I love the vintage. This, I think I'm gonna put in a box. This is a Vera Bradley bag. It has elephants on it. I'm pretty sure it's vintage. I only buy Vera Bradley. It has to have a couple factors going for it. One, it has to be like in pretty good condition. The vintage ones can be a little tough sometimes. This one actually looks pretty good. A lot of times they'll have wear along the edges on the bottom. 3, this one's pretty, it's kind of faded. Not pretty faded, I would say kind of faded. 3, it has to be either really, really new, like with tags on it new, or vintage, made in the USA. And 3, I have to be able to find it for really, really cheap, because it just doesn't sell for that much for me. So I'm sure there's some things. In fact, like I know in the past I've had like vintage duffel bags, and those can have a really high average sell price on them. I am looking for a bag, if you're wondering what I'm doing, or a box rather, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I don't think that's gonna fit. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna make it work. The bottom of it is kind of hard, and so I don't want that to get ruined with just a envelope. Because it's Poshmark, I can send it in any priority shipping envelope or box, and that doesn't matter as long as it's not over 5 pounds. And this is very clearly not. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so this sold for $20. Like I said, they don't sell for very much for me, but in the old fee structure I would have made $16, and in the current structure I made $16.23. The fees were $3.77. Is that accurate? Yes. My profit, that makes my profit $14.23. So pretty good. All right. I think this next thing is really cool. It's a shacket. So shirt, jacket. It's just flannel. I think it has pockets. Yeah, the pockets are a plus, I will tell you. Seems to be. Anyway, and then this one is lined, so it has like a faux Sherpa lining in it. It's kind of fuzzy, fleecy feeling. And this sold for $15. So yeah, I think at least half of my items sold for $15 or $16 out of these 11 items. Seems that way. All right, this thing is not perfect, but I'm just trying to make it a little better. This one is vintage, I'm pretty sure. And let's see. So my profit, or my earnings, let's say it that way, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's what they say in the email. My earnings were $11.56. The fee was $3.44. Oh, the other thing I don't like is, at least the way I do it, I go through my, that is a shoebox. I go through my email, so is that. I go through my emails to get my labels, and they don't actually tell you what the fee is. They tell you what your earnings are, which is slightly annoying because it just gives me another step to figure out what my fee is, because I need to put that into my inventory spreadsheet, which I use Vendu to cross list and as my inventory system. Yeah, anyway, it was $3.44, so again, less money than if it had been the old fee structure. I spent 70 cents on this at my old favorite thrift store 5 months ago. So that makes my profit $10.86. And it's a little bit too thick for this box, but I'm just going with it. All right. One more thing, and then we can get a little bit more chatty. I feel like I've already been a little chatty. But that's how I roll. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this box ready since I'm already here. I should have gotten, usually I get the boxes ready beforehand, but I just wasn't thinking. I've been trying to be super present with my kids today. It's been really good, but it just means I'm not doing things on my regular flow routine of things. So this is a jacket. It's a kid's jacket. When I went to the bins, I don't know, I think in February, I found a bunch of kids stuff in like a big pile, and it was like Ralph Lauren, and I think there was I don't know, there were a couple kids coats, but this is Ivivva, which is Lululemon, and it doesn't exist anymore. Ivivva by Lululemon. They don't make it anymore. So yeah, sold for $20 on Poshmark. It's nice. I wish it was like, it had been the right size for my kiddo, but there was another. I kept a coat back for each of them out of that, so we're good. We've got coats. This one sold for $20. I would have made $16 in the old fee structure. In this new fee structure, my fee was $3.68, so I made $16.32. I found this at the bins. My average cost is $2 at the bins, and so that makes my total profit $14.32. My profit for the week I was gone on Poshmark only was $152.42. All right. So when I tell you a couple things that I looked up. One, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but here we are. I forgot. The new fee structure is if something is under $15, there is a $1 flat fee plus 5.99% on the item's purchase cost plus shipping plus tax. If it's from $15 to $50, it's a flat $2 rate plus 5.99%. And if it is above $50, it is $3 plus 5.99%. All right. So last night, actually this morning, I woke up to an email that says, congratulations, you bought such and such a thing. And I was like, I bought nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I was so stressed. Apparently I purchased something via auction on a Poshmark Live. I don't get on Poshmark Lives. Yeah, kiddo. You can talk. You can't talk.
Please look at the shells.
You want to look at the shells? You may. They're in my bedroom. Okay. He did this. I don't know what that means. My youngest is 6, and he's probably the cutest thing ever. Anyway, let's see. I lost track of what I'm doing, which is normal. So, I messaged the person. I said, I went on there and I was like, I didn't buy this. Can I cancel it? Well, it says you can only cancel it from 3 hours after you've bought it. Well, it was bought in the middle of the night when I was asleep, and the 3 hours was way past. So I messaged the person really immediately. I was like, I don't know what happened. I did not buy this. I feel really bad. But can you please cancel it? Because it was kind of a big order. I mean, I would have been happy for this. I have no idea what it was. It just had a picture of a graphic, and then it said unlisted item in a Poshmark auction. And I was like, I don't even know what I bought. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened, but the item was $75. Thankfully, the person canceled the item, said they understood, said it had happened to her before, and she said that she kind of wondered because I bought the item but then never commented, and apparently that's a thing where you're like, oh yeah, I bought the thing or whatever. I don't know. I seriously, I don't watch. I don't know how it works because I don't really get onto the live shows ever. So anyway, the thing I almost bought, whatever it was $75. So my total was $90.73. So it just said $75 total for the item, $90.73. And then it says show details. So I have to click on to show details. So then it shows me my shipping is only $1.99. So she was actually giving a good discount for shipping. So kudos to her. But then it just says, so it says shipping $1.99 and then tax and buyer protection fee for $13.74. And I was like, my taxes are pretty low here. So there's no show me more or whatever. There's one little I with a little parentheses around it for info, but it's not even highlighted. It's kind of hidden. And so I clicked on that because I knew what to look for. And it tells me my tax is $5.81 and my buyer protection fee is $7.93. So an item that was $75, really the reason I probably wouldn't have even really looked at it because she had such a discount on her shipping. But as a buyer, I've been buying on Poshmark, and then all of a sudden it's telling me my taxes and buyer protection fees are $13, $14. I'm going to look at that and see what's going on. And the buyer protection fees is something that's we've had as buyers for a really long time. So I'm not really sure. It was not something that I was really wanting to buy. So in fact, I looked at it after she had canceled because I was like, oh, I wonder as I was kind of looking up everything for the video, I was like, oh, I should check that out. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to look at was just how my sales have changed. So I looked at it 2 different ways. One, I looked at October, total all October, which is 11 days at this point. It's October 11th. So I have 16 listings that sold for $319. In September, I sold a total of 56 items. and my gross sales on Poshmark only, this is Poshmark only, was $1,230.01. I'm not really sure how that happened. Anyway, if I divide that by 3, so like the first third of the month, that's kind of how I had it in my head. That's 18 items versus the 16 items that I'm selling in the first part of October, and then $410 versus the $319 that I've sold in October. So that is kind of one way I looked at it. The other way I looked at it was when the actual fee structure changed to today, which is 9 days, and then the 9 days just prior. So if I'm looking at the 9 days prior, that was September 24th to October 2nd, I sold $339, 17 items. And then those days that the new fee structure started was $3 through the 3rd through the 11th, and it was $270 and 14 items. So 3 items less and $69 less. I don't know. It's hard to say like that's for sure like what's happening. I mean, 2 or 3 items lower doesn't really seem like a lot, but if you compound that over time, that is significant. That can be significantly less. I also don't know if me not listing consistently had anything to do with it. I'm a pretty consistent lister, and I did not list at all while I was on vacation. So potentially, I didn't get as many eyes on my items because I didn't have new items coming in. I wasn't delisting and relisting anything. I did have Prime Lister was still working for me and sending out offers. So I don't know. Okay, that's it. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I went on vacation. My husband and I went to Delaware on the beach. We were on Delaware Bay. It was lovely. We spent 3 days together, just hanging out and doing nothing, and it was lovely. We ate good food, we walked on the beach, we sat, I read a book. It was lovely. It was beautiful, very calm, very still, very quiet, which is like absolutely opposite of my life here. And so that was, well, Friday we traveled most of the day. It was a 12-hour drive, and then Saturday, Sunday we spent there. On Monday we drove to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and took part in a conference there. My husband and I are both spiritual directors, and so we were able to provide spiritual direction to some pastors in a retreat there, and that is something that's very, very special to us, and it was wonderful. We were there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday we drove to Columbus, Ohio. And yesterday we got up and ate at a restaurant that's on Drivers, Dives, and Dives, and which my husband loves that show. So that was really fun. And then we went to the zoo and spent 6 hours at the Columbus Zoo, which really wasn't enough. I thought 6 hours was going to be plenty, but it wasn't. It was great. The zoo was phenomenal. And then we came home. So that was our trip. It was fantastic. We loved it, and I loved being away. I really tried hard to not do anything work related, and I was pretty successful at that for the most part. We did do a Q&A video the first morning that we were there. We had planned on doing that. We did it together. I really had a hard time uploading it, so I'm hopeful that I'm gonna still get it uploaded, because it's, I don't know, my husband and I just kind of riffing off of each other, which is interesting and amusing, I think. Plus there were some really good questions that I was able to answer, or, you know, sometimes not. So hopefully I will get that uploaded, but it'll feel awkward because we talk about the time frame. Anyway, that's okay. I think that's all. Make sure you leave a comment if you haven't already. Let me know how you feel like Poshmark is working or not working for you, or do you sell on Poshmark? Does this make you like scare you off from selling on Poshmark? Do you buy on Poshmark? Is this scaring you off from buying on Poshmark? Let me know. I'm really curious how it's gonna pan out in the long term. So I think that's all. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.